Everybody, my name is Bob Van Allen, and this is pretty much how I take care of my bearings in my RC cars, off-road. I don't really race any on-road, but off-road. What I do is I take a little X-Acto tool like this, and I just barely kind of get under the edge of this. Some are easier than others. I promise it'll come off. Anyway, notice I can just get it under it. Pops right off. There's your bearing. Do the other side as well. Now most bearings that I come across that I like to use, rubber shields on both sides. Some bearings are metal shielded. They're, in my opinion, hard to clean. About the best you can do is oil them up a little bit here or there. The rubber shielded bearings keep out a lot more dirt, dust. They're just better for the off-road type racer. Now, what I do to clean out any dirt, greases, oils that may be in there that I want to replace is I'll take the bearing and I'll set it in this rag, and I'll take some degreaser. Now, you want to kind of make like a cocoon in here so you don't spray everything else in the world except what you want to spray. I'm just kind of doing this so everyone can see it. Now that's pretty much going to get just about any of the dirt that's sitting in there. Just kind of work it in a little bit. That'll pretty much clean up just about anything as far as the bearing goes. You notice it moves real smooth. Nothing's hanging up. Everything's just moving nice and smooth. Okay, now I'll just kind of spin this, let it dry for just a second. What I'm using to clean the bearings is this spray-on heavy-duty citrus degreaser. Also available at the Boca Bearings website. It's got a nice, pleasant citrus smell to it. Obviously, the name citrus, but it also works very well. It's probably one of the best degreasers I've ever seen. That didn't, make you want to run out of the place. So, once it's kind of dried up and everything looks nice and clean in there, I'll just take these shields, and I don't know if you can see all that dirt and stuff that's in there. I don't want to put that back in there with a nice clean bearing, so we're just going to wipe these off real good. Just see what all we can get out of them. Just make sure they're clean. It's pretty clean. Now, I use a lightning lube, grease power. This is a nice thick grease. Not too thick, not too thin. Works great. Perfect for bearings. And I'll just squeeze some in. Don't be shy with it. Squeeze some in there. Make sure it gets in there. Now, I'm not saying pack the entire bearing full. The bearing's got to be able to move, so you don't want to restrict it too much with the grease. Now, I'll put some on that side, and now I'll flip it over, and I'll put in the opposite places. I've got that one, we'll say that's 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 3 o'clock. Okay, so I'll flip it over, and I'll make sure that I put a little bit of grease where I don't have grease on this side. Like I say, you don't want to just stuff it full of grease. And once you got grease in there, just kind of work it around, work the bearing back and forth, and you'll start to notice how the grease kind of moves itself around. Moving real smooth. This is going to be a good bearing. But now we have a bearing with grease in it. So what I'll do now, I'll go ahead and pop my covers back on. If you happen to tear up a cover, fairly certain that Boca bearing has the covers available, these dust covers. I know some people will get a little carried away and they may destroy one. Anyway, pop it all back together. Just kind of clean my fingers up here, and I'll just kind of rub it back and forth, get any of the excess off of it, because you don't want the dirt sticking to it. It's the easiest way for dirt to get inside of a bearing is to stick to it. So wipe it all off real good. And here we have a bearing that is ready to go. Nice and smooth. But you don't want it to just spin. You want it to have a little bit of, resistance. That lets you know that the grease is in there doing what it's supposed to do, and that, over a period of a race or two, that will loosen up a lot. And when they get real loose, that's pretty much when I know I need to go through them and clean them up, grease them up, and get them ready for a race again. If you take care of your bearings, they will definitely take care of you on the track. Worst thing to have happen is a DNF because your car broke or won't roll, or any kind of stupid stuff like that. So take care of your bearings, and that's that. Have a good day.